So this video is made more for Cousin Scott and Nelson down at IP Farms. Um, However, I think others might find this information useful as well. This is my header. So from my understanding, well, the question that they had was if there was any way to get variable speed. They run the older Gleaners, Ks and K2. Any guys that watch either of their channels know what I'm talking about. They have a variable speed for the header, for the reel, on their headers. However, their combine does not have the hydraulic output to run it. So there's a couple of options here. Well, there's numerous options, and I'll try to talk about the easiest option, and I'll try to talk about the most cost-effective options. And then the easy option comes into cost-effective too if you do that right. So that being said, this only needs one-way hydraulics. It doesn't need two-way. So that's easy because you guys have a one-way hydraulic for the height. So I'll bring you down and I'll show you the easy fix. The easiest option would be to get yourself a selector valve. Definitely does not have to be one like this. This one was $305. But it came with all of these connectors that you see, and it's electric, goes up there and everything. But you could just have a mechanical one that was up in the cab with you, and you would just have your main hose run up that would hook up to the height control for the reel, and you would flip the valve and change the speed of your reel, obviously, which would be a pretty simple fix. And especially if you could find a selector valve on something at the junkyard, it could actually be pretty cost effective too. The new hoses would be probably the most expensive part of the whole ordeal there. So here's another option that you guys have. This is the header off of my brother's L. I want to say that this one is a model older than mine, but I don't know that for sure. Either way, I'm lucky with having a junkyard in the area to where I could find this stuff, is why I give this option. I know that things are harder to find down there from talking with Nelson and stuff. However, Nelson, you know the junkyard that I'm talking about, that you could probably get this set up. Well, he did have one. If it's still there or not, it's been over a year since I've been there, so I don't know. However, this works off of electronics, off of electric. This pump down here runs off of the drive, the chain drive, basically. And this could be modified. You would take off the hydraulic stuff off of your header, and you would install this stuff onto your header. So then all you have is an electric valve, basically, that controls how much flow is going through to that, which changes the speed. So you get the idea. Then you just it's a matter of running wires. It is a little involved to switch it over. However, it's all meant to bolt on there. As far as I can tell, I could just bolt this onto my header over there, which that one's a black stripe header. And then, like I said, he's only got one hydraulic that runs from the combine then on his L, which runs the height for the reel, and then that's all electric, which you guys could definitely accomplish on your combines. Like I said, I'm lucky, and we have junkyards around where we can find this stuff. So to me, it sounds like an easy situation, but I can understand that you guys are limited on that down there. And anybody else that's watching this, I kind of understand. But that's why I wanted to bring up the selector valve, because that's something that you just get online and order yourself a selector valve. And the one that I showed was a two-way, obviously. You guys only need a one-way. So it'd be really simple then. You would just flip the switch and use the same switch in your cab or lever. Sorry, somebody called me there in the middle of that. But yeah, then you would just have two hoses run down to this, and one ran up to that selector valve off of the combine, and then you just switch it over, and off of the same button you'd use your height or your reel speed, which would be really the simplest. And if you could find the part at the junkyard, it'd probably, like I said, it'd probably be the most cost effective by the time you were done with it too. And that's probably how I would do it. Now, I just made a deal on I don't even know what it is, an 820 Case IH head grain table, and it's a little different. It's more like this setup over here, except it doesn't have the pump in the reservoir. It has to have the constant flow from the combine, which the Gleaner is not capable of doing that. That's why there's a reservoir and a pump on that header. The hydraulics on the Gleaner won't run that little hydraulic motor up there for the reel speed. They just don't have enough flow, yada yada yada. So in order to get all of that to work, I either need to go find one of these and mount it onto that header, or I need to take all of my stuff off of that header and mount it on that header for my variable speed. That header that I bought isn't what I was looking for by any means, but I got it at the right price, and pennies on the dollar, to coin Nelson. Definitely pennies on the dollar, no joke. And I would love to get a flex draper for it, but finding a 16-foot flex draper is not exactly easy without ordering a new one built for me, because 16 foot is obviously puny to today's standards. But that's what I want. Who knows, in the future it may happen, because these headers are the weakest link. The problem with them is right there at the cutter bar is all where it starts. Come around here and show you the angles on this. So you can see right there, we've got to go up the hill with the soybeans, and then there's this huge distance in between the cutter bar and the auger there that's just going to take forever for it. Just what happens is, now it's got a wobble box, so first of all, this thing's all shaking like a Schaefer, like your shoe back there. Everything's wobbling around, and as it's rolling up there, seeds just kind of drop off of it and fall down through there, and it's like a separating shoe on your header, compared to pretty much any other brand that you look at. They're not like that. Now these are really nice for contouring. It's a flex header, and they do really good as far as that aspect. If you got really rough terrain, I guess, and having problems taking rocks in, it may be beneficial to have it, but it's terrible. But then also, when it's on the combine, this is pretty much flat right here. And they'll fall down in between that crack right there. You can't really see it very well. But right there, they'll fall into that and they'll go down. And this is set down too, so that angle isn't very dramatic right now. When you raise the header up, that sickle drops, I would say, 3 inches more. It's making that even more of an angle. And they're just a bad design, honestly. Another trick, guys, tip, and he could actually do it to this one too. If you're having a problem with these feeding, if you just take an angle grinder and you make all of these nice flat, square, sharp edges, it's really going to help you feed everything through these auger style grain tables. Something to keep in mind. See, like right here, it's rounded out. Like I say, you take a grinder and make that nice and flat and square, and everything will feed better if you're having issues with your auger feeding. However, I think I explained everything that I wanted to touch base on this video. If anybody, you guys find this handy, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you hadn't already. And if you have any other questions on the Gleaners, look through my channel. I've got a few tips and tricks and different things on how to set them and fixing different things on them. Should be in a playlist. So check those out, or like and subscribe. I'll have more videos coming out like this too. So thank everybody for watching. Hope to catch you on the next one.